If the ring had not been destroyed in the fires of Mount Doom, if Frodo Baggins had faltered at the last moment, the fate of Middle-earth would have been sealed. The One Ring, returned to the hand of its master, would have restored Sauron to his full and terrible power. His dominion, stretching from the wastelands of Mordor to the farthest shores of the West, would have brought every free people into chains. The world would not simply have fallen, it would have been remade, shaped in the image of its new Dark Lord, and it would have remained that way for ages beyond counting. Before we journey further into the story, if you could take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel, it would help us bring more tales from Arda to life. Now, let's return to the story. In this alternate history, the victory of Sauron begins not with an overwhelming battle, but with a single moment of corruption. The Ring-bearer, standing on the brink of the cracks of doom, does not cast the ring away. Instead, Frodo claims it for himself. But the ring was never truly his. It was Sauron's own essence, bound into gold. The instant Frodo's will bends to the ring, Sauron's eye fixes upon him, piercing every defense Gandalf and Elrond had woven around the hobbit's mind. The Nazgul, already near the mountain, rush into the fiery chasm. With Frodo's strength broken, the ring is taken, either from his grasp or from his lifeless body. The instant it is returned, Sauron's power surges like a storm unleashed. The foundations of Barad-dûr, still standing in Mordor's heart, blaze with new light, not the light of the sun, but the red glare of malice unchained. His form, long dispersed, begins to coalesce. In days, the Dark Lord stands again in a body of dread, towering and armored, crowned with the iron helm of a king who rules by fear. The free peoples, already battered by war, have no strength to resist the next wave. The armies of Mordor, already numbering in the hundreds of thousands, are driven forward by Sauron's own will, their morale and ferocity heightened to a fever pitch. Gondor's remaining forces, exhausted after the Battle of the Pelennor Fields, retreat behind the White City's walls, but Minas Tirith cannot hold. Without the distraction of the ring's destruction to collapse Sauron's forces, the assault on the Black Gate becomes a slaughter. Aragorn, Gandalf, Legolas, Gimli, every leader of the West is either slain or captured. With the captains of the free peoples gone, the kingdoms fall in swift succession. Minas Tirith burns, its white stone blackened and twisted. Edoras is taken, its golden hall turned into the seat of a Mordor-appointed governor. The Shire is not spared. Though insignificant in military strength, it is a symbol, and Sauron knows the value of crushing hope at its roots. Orcish bands sweep through its hills, enslaving or scattering the hobbits. Rivendell becomes a haunted ruin, the last echoes of Elrond's wisdom lost beneath shadow. Lothlorien's light fades as Galadriel herself is driven from her realm or taken by the enemy. And then begins the long night. The skies over Middle-earth darken, not just from the smoke of industry, but from Sauron's will itself. The sun's warmth grows dim. The moon appears as a pale ghost. Mordor's forges work without ceasing, producing endless weapons of war. The lands are reshaped, not by natural erosion, but by deliberate ruin. Forests are cut to the root. Rivers are diverted or poisoned. The seas are patrolled by the black fleets of Umbar, now fully sworn to Mordor's rule. In the east and south, those who once allied with Sauron, the Haradrim, the Easterlings, the Variogs, find that the promises of freedom and wealth were lies. They too are chained, forced to serve in the wars of conquest that now turn outward. For the Dark Lord's gaze is no longer fixed solely upon Middle-earth. Beyond the sundering seas lies Valinor, and in his heart burns the same ambition that once drove Morgoth to overthrow the powers of the West and claim the world entire. Yet resistance is not wholly dead. Even under the heaviest shadow, whispers remain. In the far north, dwarves retreat into their deepest halls, forging weapons in secret. A few elves vanish into hidden sanctuaries, waiting for a moment to strike. Among the scattered men, descendants of Numenor's faithful bide their time, preserving the memory of the world before the darkness. But their chances are slim, for Sauron now wields not only unmatched military power, but the ring's perfect mastery over all who are susceptible to its will. This is the new age of Middle-earth, an age of endless war, unyielding darkness, and a ruler whose dominion will not falter for thousands of years, if it falters at all. And yet here, the question lingers. Could such a reign truly be eternal? Or, as with all tyrannies, would the seeds of its own destruction one day take root?